From Windows Fanboy to Linux Mint convert, my honest experience switching operating systems. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a longtime Windows user like me, staring down the barrel of Windows 10's end of support in October 2025, you've probably felt that mix of anxiety and curiosity about what comes next. Do you shell out for a new PC to run Windows 11? Pay for extended security updates? Or finally give Linux a real shot? I grew up on Windows, starting with 3.1 as a kid, then every version through 11. My one brief brush with Linux around 2010 ended in frustration after failing to make everything work through Wine. I wrote it off as too complicated and stuck with what I knew. But with Windows 10 reaching its end and seeing recommendations from creators like PewDiePie, I decided it was time to try Linux Mint properly. Here's my balanced, real-world take as someone with zero prior Linux experience beyond that failed attempt.
The smart way. Linux Mint lets you test drive it. One of the first things that blew me away was the installation media itself. Burn, or flash, the ISO to a USB, boot from it, and boom, you're running a full, live session of Linux Mint without installing anything. It's not lightning fast since it's running off the USB, but it's completely usable. You can browse, test hardware, try apps, and explore the desktop risk-free. If you like what you see, there's a big Install Linux Mint icon right on the desktop. Compare that to Windows, where you're usually committing to an install right away. This live demo feature alone lowers the barrier to entry massively for beginners.
Out-of-the-box experience. Surprisingly smooth. I braced myself for driver headaches, broken Wi-Fi, or graphics issues based on my old memories. Instead, everything just worked on my hardware. Wi-Fi, sound, trackpad, even basic graphics. No manual driver hunting required right after booting. The Cinnamon desktop, the most popular edition, feels familiar. It has a traditional start menu, taskbar, and system tray that won't shock Windows users. A welcoming welcome window pops up on first boot, guiding you through updates, system settings, and even suggesting popular apps. You can make it show every time or dismiss it forever. Perfect for newbies.
Software. Most of what you need just works. This was my biggest worry. Would I have to fight to get everyday apps running? Google Chrome installs easily. Steam worked without drama. Discord, Slack, and many other tools have native Linux versions or straightforward installers. The built-in software manager is a clean, searchable app store with thousands of free applications. No shady downloads needed for most things. For anything missing, the community often provides clear instructions. I was able to set up a workflow that looked and felt a lot like my old Windows desktop in under an hour. Gaming via Steam has improved dramatically thanks to Proton. Many titles run great, though some with strict anti-cheat may still need workarounds.
The security trade-offs and password prompts. Linux has a strong reputation for security, partly because it prompts you for your administrator password before installing software or making system changes. You'll type it a lot at first. This isn't annoying nagging, it's deliberate design. Unlike Windows, with tools like Defender that can run in the background, Linux puts more responsibility on you. The community strongly advises against disabling these prompts. It feels safer once you get used to it, and I appreciated knowing exactly when changes were happening.
The terminal. Not as scary as it sounds. Yes, there's a command line. Some apps or tweaks ask you to run commands, often with sudo, which means super user do. The good news? Most guides provide exact copy-paste commands. You don't need to memorize anything initially. Start simple, understand the basics, and it quickly becomes a powerful tool rather than a barrier. I found it less intimidating than expected, and it gives a real sense of control over your system. Just stay cautious with sources, like you would with any PowerShell commands on Windows.
Pros that stood out for me. Performance. Snappier on the same hardware, with lower resource usage and no forced background bloat. Customization. Cinnamon is highly tweakable. Themes, applets, desklets, you name it.
No licensing costs or hardware upgrade pressure. It breathes new life into older PCs. Privacy-focused with minimal telemetry by default. Stable and polished. Regular updates without disruptive, forced reboots every other week. Honest challenges and limitations. It's not all perfect. Some niche Windows-only software, certain Adobe apps or specialized tools, may require alternatives, virtual machines, or wine. Hardware support is excellent for most, but edge cases, especially bleeding-edge components, can need extra steps. The ecosystem rewards learning a bit more about how your system works. File permissions, when sharing drives between Windows and Linux, can occasionally trip you up. And the overall "it just works" factor is high, but not 100% for every exotic workflow.
My verdict: worth trying in 2026. After spending real time with it, Linux Mint surprised me. It's not a compromise. It's genuinely enjoyable and could easily become a daily driver, especially post Windows 10 support. The familiarity of Cinnamon, combined with modern stability and freedom from bloat, makes the switch far less painful than I imagined. If you're on the fence, download the ISO, try the live session, and see for yourself. Worst case, you go back to Windows with new knowledge. Best case, you find a faster, cleaner, more controllable computing experience. Have you tried Linux Mint or another distro? Drop your experiences in the comments, especially if you're also a former Windows-only user. Like and subscribe if this helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.